No stronger than Thanos. Hold my beer.
Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Today we're going to take a look at the Mezco 1/12 Collective DC Darkseid. And right off the bat, I have to say I enjoy when we get the 10s. It's just a little extra, I don't know, oomph, a little bit more bang for your buck. I just like it. It makes it feel just a little bit more high end. And just to compare, it's about the same size. Not that you can see it, but I'm telling you, it's about the same size this way as most of the other 10s. But as you can see from the side, the 10 for Darkseid is much thicker than, I guess this is the standard one. But you get the Omega symbol on the front, on the side, Mezco Toys, Darkseid, coming around, 1/12 Collective, Darkseid again. On the back, you get the pretty promotional shots showing everything that's in the package. This is pretty much what we saw when they were first like, hey, we're making a Darkseid, order it. But getting into the 10, it's got a nice hinge on the back, that way it just opens up. You get, hey, for collectors, the instruction manual.
I am Robot Darkseid.
How to put the faces on, how to turn the light on, how to put the cape on. Then the mother box, oh, magnetically attaches to the back of the belt. That's cool. You get this protective foam layer, which I will say, the shipping box, it was the crate, and then there was a layer of foam, all four sides. The shipping box for Darkseid inside of it, and then it was nice and secure. So them going Polystone this time, look at that, it's got a little cover. Them going Polystone this time, they're going out of their way to really, really protect it. Again, getting it out of this foam, it feels very high end. Oh, and when you get it out, this is blunt force trauma material. Is there somebody at my door? Well, come here. Each little face has its own foam indent, and then the hands do too. Oh, just extra layer of security. Then there's the mother box up here. What's hiding underneath? Oh, it's another foam layer. It's got the cape down here. And that's definitely Diecast. Have the stand, have the batteries. Man, that's appreciated. Mezco goes out of their way when it's like, hey, we did this light up feature, but we're going to give you the batteries too. That way you don't get the figure and then you have to go back to the store and find these odd size batteries or whatever. Got the stand for the stand. Is there anything else? Nope, that's it. Man. Psh, psh. Okay, the instructions say to lift faceplate up and out of the head. It's more of a pull out and up. The chin kind of goes behind this little peg right there. It's held in by a magnet, and then we have this screw right there to remove. Battery door. Okay, battery's in. The switch is up under the neck right there. Turns the lights on. Why is it blinking? What's going on there? Oh, I was going the wrong way. Okay, don't try to put the door back on with the magnet to the inside. It doesn't work. Interesting. Why is the switch not working? Okay, after messing with it a little bit more, this cover, as soon as I tighten it down, it wants to turn the lights on, but I loosen it up. Letting the batteries push out a little bit or something. I'm not quite sure. Leaving it loose a little bit, I can turn the lights on and off, no problem. I don't know, but if I leave it loose a little bit, put the faceplate back on, I got it working again. God damn it. Well, I now know that's not prone to chipping. Well, it looks orange in the camera, but in person, that looks red. But looking at the overall piece, oh man, it's so Darkseid. The cragglies in the skin coming up, just the Kirby-esque features all over the place. You see it here, you see it here, you see it here. Just look at that glove detail. Even on the bottom of the boot, they just went all out on the sculpting here. But one of my big things, getting him out of the pack, well, besides the heft, you could, chunk this at somebody. But besides that, it's the inability to tell, well, you can tell this is cloth, but it doesn't look out of place with the rest of the figure. Sure, the gloves could be cloth, I guess, but there's no sculpted mask that should be the same media, you know what I mean? To contrast the two materials. And the print job on that material, oh, it's so fantastic. I kind of like that it's not actual cloth, it's this faux leather type material. It still has the blue and black design on it. I've seen some people talking about the lack of a wash in the cracks, or the cracks not being as deep as the prototype. I don't know, now that I have this out right now, it kind of looks like there's some black down in those. It looks really, really detailed. But you get up to the head and it does seem a little bit soft right there. The sculpting to it, it could use a wash. I think there is a little bit of dark paint somewhere, some places in there, but it's not as detailed as here. Yeah, you know, black, kapow, Here, just a little bit. So there's a little difference between the skin tones there and there. You get down to the legs, they're more covered, but they have that same deepness to the cracks. Also, this seems just a little bit darker than the prototype. Looking at my pictures from San Diego and Toy Fair last year, I think it was pretty dark. This may just be a little bit darker, but ooh, I just love it. It's kind of subtle. You see the black, you see the blue, but you have to kind of look for the difference there. But for the wash that's not on the head, they make up for it on the armor parts and lower extremities, the boots, the gloves. There's a nice gray to it that makes it look a little bit weathered. Then there's the silvers, there's the darker blues, there's the lighter blues. Again, it's subtle. It doesn't stick out at you. The overall piece just fits together so well. But you get up close and you can pick out all this little bitty detail, the silver, the little metal parts. Oh, so good. The belt is a little bit annoying. It's diecast too. The arms seem polystone, the face does, the upper leg here does, maybe this lower leg, but you get down to here, the feet are diecast, I think, and then this belt. And it being a solid piece, it doesn't really do what you want it to do most of the time. If it turns to the side at all, it causes gaps, it looks oddball. I'm good with it being right there, and I'm good with it overall. It's just, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen some rubber. Now the heft makes me feel like I could toss this around, but then I remember it's polystone. I'm a little bit leery about getting crazy with it, but that never stopped me before, so let's see what the articulation does. There's a ball joint going down into the top of the neck, and then the neck itself is also on a ball joint. So all that together, you get fantastic tilt. You get down as far as his chin guard goes. Up pretty good. Swivels, and it's really smooth. You can knock it around, but it doesn't want to go by itself. It's weird. There seems to be a ball joint at the shoulder going in, but it doesn't give a lot of range of movement because this is also die cast right here, along with this. I can't really tell what the different materials are. That's cold, so I'm thinking that's die cast. The shoulder goes up, nice and smooth, swivels around, and it does hit that shoulder pad piece sticking out, so you can't go straight up. Elbow goes right there, and that, I think that's the most disappointing part. That also swivels at that point. Swivel, hinge, swivel at the wrist, so it swivels, and then you have your hinge, and then it swivels at the glove itself, so you can get a little bit up and down, but if you turn it, you can get it going side to side. I'm not quite sure what's in the torso, but you get pretty good crunch. Back, and you notice that this is causing the articulation to be hindered, is the outside clothing. Tilt, so all around, not terrible for a big guy. Raise the belt up a little bit, get this up and out of the way, a little basic instinct going on, see what's going on at the hips. Ball joint coming out to the hips can come up to about right there. Back out, not bad actually. Swivel at the thigh. Single knee comes up to about 90, and you can see that detail continues down in there, but it looks kind of like there's some glue or something, not sure. And then on the inside it looks very jointy, but that big ass knee pad keeps it out of the way. And then there's a ball joint at the ankle where you can go back a little bit, forward a little bit of tilt both ways, and then that swivels. For accessories, Darkseid has 2 fists, he has 2 open hands, and then he has a grip hand for the mother box. And to switch those out, it's pretty much just pop off. It's not as soft as usual Mezco where you can kind of squish the hand together. It's more of a harder plastic. So I've been, along with the Polystone and along with the Diecast, I've been a little bit more careful than I usually am. And then as far as the mother box goes, it's that same Kirby detail just all over it. It has kind of a silver dry brush to bring out the raised edges. And I can't tell if this is die-cast. It does feel a little bit cold, but that's a cool little thing. You can put it on both sides, whichever way you want to go, and it's a nice storage for the mother box. But if you want him holding it, that's easy enough too. For faces, he has the stoic face. This is how I think of Darkseid most of the time. He's just,
I'm just standing here thinking.
And I don't know how easy it is to see, but in person, it's really red. So if that's orange, don't trust my camera. But like I said, you pull out, you pull up. He also has a grinning face, which works just as well as the first one. I'm going to have a hard time deciding what to use here. This cocky big melon bastard. There's a damaged face with the cracks coming up and around, and even that, okay, he may be grimacing a little bit, but he seems to be enjoying that too. It's not showing up very well, but again, in person, the red's showing through here.
I've got lava eye.
I feel like it's not as bright as it could be because they put red LEDs there. They put the red translucent lens behind the eyes here. I think if this had been white, it would have been a little bit brighter. Let this do the red tint. Let this do its thing. And then finally, he has a set of eyes with the Omega beam shooting out. And this is what I think when I think Omega beams. It's like, oh, Tron bikes shooting around. And that's, I don't know. Even in person, it doesn't really, it may come down this first stalk, but it sure as hell doesn't make that turn and light up the whole thing. And here I am playing in the dark. Where'd the switch go? I think I like the smiling head best, though. Just looks, oh, so cocky. And then his cape, it's a nice piece of, well, it's not really the same material as his torso. This is actual cloth with a leather, not leather, kind of a plastic overlay of the blue. And then up here, die-cast metal again. And with that, you just take it, and it just kind of sits on his shoulders. There's no magnets. There's nothing to hold it on there. And I'm not the biggest DC reader in the world, so I'm not really familiar with him in this look. But it does look fairly regal. He's overlording everything within his sight. And I guess if you wanted behind it, you could fold this back, kind of bring it around. And that seems to stay. There's almost a pinch to it, but it's not going to stay on if you get crazy with it. For comparison, I unfortunately do not have a Mezco Superman. For some reason, I skipped it or missed it or something. But here he is with the Mezco 1/12 Collective Deluxe Joker and the Toy Fair exclusive Batman. He's a little bit bigger, but he's not overpoweringly huge. He just looks like a big menacing dude, you know, with craggle skin and light up eyes and that kind of stuff. Here he is with the Marvel Select Thanos and the Marvel Legends comic book style Build-A-Figure Thanos. Comparable. It's mostly the head that pops him out of scale with everything else. But I do have the Mattel DC Universe Classic Superman, and I have the DC Collectibles Icons Superman. I just opened this up, and I like it enough to go, oh, I wish they hadn't canceled Icons. I probably should have supported it when it was actually out. Here he is with the DC Universe Classics Build-A-Figure, sorry, Collect and Connect Darkseid, and then Metron with his chair. I forgot how big this was, and I can't find the smaller one to compare with it. Here he is with more of the DC Universe Classics. If they would stay standing, quit splitting. And then even more DC Universe Classics. Why are their legs jutting out like that? And Mattel, what's with the plastic? So at the end of the day, I know $180 hurts bad. And that's on top of Mezco experimenting with different materials here. Everybody was kind of worried about the Polystone. Diecast, not so much, but man, it adds to the weight. But I will say the articulation all holds really well with all that extra weight. But back to the other side, the articulation is not the greatest in the world. You're not going to have him in super action-y type poses. And then flip back around to the other side again, it's Darkseid. He's not meant to do all those kind of action-y poses. He stands there, he commands the minions, he just kind of sits back, omega beams when he needs to, crushes when he needs to, but he's not gonna karate kicks and stuff, I guess. At that point, people can say, well, why don't you just get a statue? Why'd you get a $180 action figure? Because even with the limited movement you get out of this, it's still tweakable. You can still look him to the side, you can cock his head, you can put his arms behind his back, you can have him walking slowly across the battlefield. There's options even with the lack of articulation. Plus, it's damn fantastic looking. Oh my god, he's just intimidating as hell on the shelf. What little cloth or leather that is here, it's not gonna bug, or well, it shouldn't bug the people who are totally against the cloth or leather. It works like it's supposed to while hiding some of the articulation underneath, while looking pretty good. So I can't really say it's worth $180, but I'm happy. And that's just speaking for myself. I'm glad that I got it. It really does feel like a high-end piece. And as I've messed with it, I've gotten more comfortable with it. You have to you have to think ahead a little bit. I'm not saying it's gonna snap if you turn it wrong or anything, but I don't want that to happen, especially, and I'll say it again, $180 action figure. I did forget to mention the stand. I love Mezco stands. They're nice and strong, but I nearly called him Thanos. Darkseid is not going to need a stand. This does not need to go with him. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.